use it with my second and third graders for digital citizenship. And the state came out a while back with a mandate that you had to cover digital citizenship. We weren't covering it anywhere, and I didn't want to have to write my own curriculum, so I explored the options, and I found this to be the best option because when you guys created the curriculum, you had pulled from kind of the best stuff from everywhere, or I felt that it met our needs the best. So that's where I'm using it to fill that gap. One of the challenges that it satisfies for me is that I don't have to know everything. And so it fills in all those gaps that I would probably miss, not because I don't know it or not because I don't want to cover it, because I don't think about it. It's just a nice comprehensive set of lessons for the kids to do, and I know everything they need is getting covered. That was one of my biggest challenges, was making sure that my curriculum, whatever I used, covered everything that they needed to know, and I know that this does that. What I do with the kids is I introduce it to them, I show them how to navigate through it, and then I just set them off on their own, and they work through it at their own pace. And they do everything that's in there. They do the learning activities, they do the little quizzes and stuff that pop up. The learning activities sometimes require a little more front-end loading. And what I do is if I get the same question more than once, then I stop everybody and I do like a mini lesson so that they can all make it through that learning opportunity and know what the expectation is. Usually I let them just go and do on their own time, but sometimes I found that I do need to stop everybody and just do a little mini lesson. Okay, this is what we need to do for this. This is what you need to be looking for. Keywords, for some reason, seems to be a big one. They all want to type the entire question. And I don't know if they don't get the concept of keywords or if they're too lazy to try and pick out the keywords. I'm not sure what that is, but that's one I know I've had to do specifically, teach them keywords. And okay, if this is my question, what are the keywords? So that one I know I've had to do with every class because for some reason keywords is beyond their grasp. But otherwise, unless it's something like that where there's a whole bunch of people that just don't seem to get it, most of the time I'll do mini lessons with a group, like 4 or 5 kids who don't get it. I made this little packet. One of the things I found was if they didn't write it down, it didn't transfer into the assignment section where they had to type it in. So I made it so they could write down their answers before they type it into the assignment section. So we did searching, safety, cyberbullying, and copyright. So we did 4 learning. The 5th one is just the one that brings it all 4 pieces together. I put them in that order because I felt like searching was the one, A, that they struggle with the most, and B, because if they don't know how to search, they weren't going to be able to be successful in the other ones. Then we did safety because I felt like, okay, now they have these skills of searching, now I need them to be able to be safe. Then we do the cyberbullying because I wanted them to know what is cyberbullying, what should they be looking for if it's coming at them, and what is not okay for them to put out there. And then we did copyright because, I don't know, they call me the copyright Nazi around here sometimes because I'm such a stickler for it. But so many times I don't think teachers think about that. I think they think, okay, get a picture of the American Revolution. Well, okay, yeah, you need a picture, but it needs to be a picture that you have access to that you can use legally. So I felt that was a part that, even though I harp on it, I didn't think they were getting enough of that. So I wanted to make sure that was included. So they knew it wasn't just me being a copyright Nazi, that it actually is something they need to be aware of. When they finish a learning opportunity, it gives them a screen that says you're done, and then I have to click something on my computer that moves them next. So it also helps me know, okay, Joey's finished with this module, he's ready to move on, and I know I can go back and look at what he's done and stuff. So that's a nice feature because otherwise they don't tell me. I finished this module, I moved on to the next one. This way they have to let me know that they finished it before they can go on to the next one. I have a computer lab of 27 computers. Kids have assigned seats, so they come in and they sit in the same spot every time. That's for my organizational purposes, not for purposes of this. They could sit anywhere for the online stuff, but for me, to make my life easier, they have an assigned seat. And I put these packets out on the table. They walk in, they walk past the table, pick up their packet, and then they just go and sit down and get to work. And it requires probably 3, maybe 4 times I have to, give them the reminders and lead them through it. But now it just happens. They walk past the table, pick up their packet, and they go and they sit and they get to work. And I am free to walk around and help where it's needed, explain when I need to, and makes it a lot easier to individualize learning for the kids, because when they need help, I can help them one-on-one instead of, whole group instruction that only 3 people need. So it's really nice because it's so self-directed, but it's self-directed in a way that they understand it, they enjoy it, they love learning online, they like the idea of going through, they love watching the videos. I mean, my room is silent in here when they're working because they're so engrossed in what they're doing. So it really makes it nice for me to be able to check in, to be able to help where it needs to be, and to make sure that the learning that's going on is authentic and that they're actually learning what I want them to learn. I set them up before the single sign-in was up and running. So I took a spreadsheet that I had with their Google accounts and their passwords. There's a nice little form that you guys provide that gives you the exact fields that you want. And so I just go in, I already have that all in a spreadsheet. I just copy and paste into the format that you guys want, save it as a CSV file, and upload it. When I do it right, it goes very smoothly. However, when I don't do it right, then I got to call you and we troubleshoot. The main thing that I found, though, really the only place I've had problems is when I have twins with the same name. So our email formula is first initial, last name, year that they graduate. Well, if I've got twins and their first name starts with the same letter, and I didn't catch that prior to, then that's where most of my problems have been. Now I'm more aware of it, and so I know that we have CA and CI with the last name, and then it goes really smoothly. I'm anxious to try it again, hopefully next year with the single sign-in, where hopefully I don't have to do all that. But really, like I say, it works very easily. It takes a little bit of time, but it's not an excessive amount of time. I probably, within an hour, I'd say I have all of my classes. So I have 6 third grade and 6 second grade. So, it's once I get it set up, it's a 5-minute process. It's me getting everything set up ahead of time. That's the time consuming part. And it's, like I said, it's really not that time consuming. I found last year we didn't have this packet, and so they weren't writing stuff down. And when it came time to type information, type their answers into the module, they weren't making that connection from what they had learned to, oh, now I have to write the answer. I think it was more they weren't reading the questions. And So they'd put in information that was totally not what the question was asking. So that's why I created this packet to help them, A, get the right stuff in when they're supposed to type their answers in, but B, also to help them, because sometimes like class ends and they're in the middle of something, and by the time they get here a week and a half later, they've forgotten all about it. So it kind of helps them with oh, this is where I was, and oh, this is what it's asking, so let me go back and look what I wrote. It's been beneficial in a lot of ways. So then when they come to the spots where they have to enter their answers, they can look back. They also don't have to, click the back button to see stuff. They can see it in the packet, which I think makes it easier for them. Because by the time they click back to get where they need to be, then they forget where they need to go forward to, and it just becomes a mess. I guess I would say no, but only because I can't think of anything that you probably don't already have. And I can't think of anything that I could contribute that would be better than what you have. Now, I would be happy to do like we did last summer, where we worked together to improve some things. But as far as me coming up with my own curriculum, why reinvent the wheel when you've already got it and I can use what you've got? I think for me, the benefit is it's a curriculum that I am confident in. It's a curriculum I'm comfortable letting my kids participate in. And I know that it's a good comprehensive curriculum. So, plus I don't have to do it myself. I mean, why should I spend all my hours creating something that's not going to be any better than what you guys have already created? I feel comfortable with it and confident that it's appropriate is huge, because, I know that there's a ton of digital citizenship curriculum out there, but when I've looked through it, it doesn't always make me feel comfortable letting my kids use it. But I like the fact that you've pulled from different ones the parts that are the best and put them together, because there isn't anything in there that I don't feel comfortable with. I think for the kids, they love learning online. They love being on the computer to do their learning. They love having it be in multiple different forms of media. They love watching the videos. They like doing their own research. They like doing this crossword puzzles and the word searches, but they like it online. So it adds that element of enthusiasm and engagement that you don't necessarily get with a pencil and paper. And even though you're doing the same exact stuff, it's online, and that is what grabs them. It grabs those digital natives. And, if they're going to do something they enjoy and they're going to learn while they're doing it, man, win-win for everybody. My expectations would be that we continue to refine it. You've been really awesome about taking my input and using it constructively. And I would like to see that continue, because I think it needs to continue to evolve and to improve and change. Do I think it's got great bones? Absolutely. But you can always make those, you can always make it better. So I want to continue that dialogue between you and I and your programmer so that we can make it even better. I think for me, I'm going to continue to look and find other subject areas that I can use. I don't know how much more of an advocate I can be for this program, because it's awesome, and if people aren't using it, I don't understand why, because it's a great tool to have in your tool belt.